Hey, it's Lis Carpenter on day 58 of my 15K Formula 90-day challenge. And yeah, this is going to be another, share a few things of what's going on here. It's not going perfectly. I kind of feel like I shouldn't really be acknowledging that because, I mean, things work themselves out however they work themselves out. And if you stay focused on your goal, eventually you get there, whether it's by the inches or whether it's if you run towards it or sprint towards it. Okay, so today was actually the next installment of the 15K Formula training, and they rescheduled it because right now, or this week, is Empower Network live training or kind of event in Austin, Texas. And yeah, I haven't mentioned that. I think, yeah, I mentioned it a couple of videos ago. I'm not attending. But they rescheduled it, so yeah, makes sense. There has been something that I noticed kind of been getting in the way of my scheduled day. Like, I'll follow my schedule right up until my mid-morning nap or my early afternoon nap. And then from there, it's pretty bad. So basically what I acknowledged the other day, after 12, it's incredibly difficult for me to do productive, passion-oriented rather than contract-oriented work. But I think that's the most important details. Now, I'm just going to summarize some of the things that I was listening to and reading about. I was looking over at my workout calendar for the 15K Formula, which videos I should have been watching and implementing each day. And basically, since I put it up on the wall, it has not been out of mind. It's in sight, in mind, yet I haven't gotten to it because it's actually scheduled right after my midday nap or mid-morning nap. And my mid-morning naps have been going much longer than they should. And that's because I'm waking up earlier. So, I have to figure out some kind of way to stay awake. And I haven't figured that out yet. But, okay. So, notes from my copywriting reading. Create a simple business and create the advertising that brings money. We feel really, really smart when we create a complicated business, right? But I was just thinking about selling reports on eBay was something I tried years and years ago. That's a simple business, you know. But of course now I'm like, ooh, affiliate marketing and video blogging and CPC and SEO. I want to add all those things, but in reality, you only need a simple business and then to scale up on the advertising and you're good. Don't give the hurts that haunt you the power by trying to hide them. I know when John Carlton shared this, he was more or less just talking about how when you're advertising to share your faults honestly, but for me, I think that's like goes for people in general. your faults kind of eat at you, and they're like on your mind, and you're like afraid people are gonna find them out if you don't share them. So I have a lot of stuff on like my Facebook profile that in essence makes me less desirable for companies to contract, but I totally don't care. I have put some things private, but some things are openly searchable because I want people to know who I am before they add me as a friend rather than after. Well, yeah. Today, I ended up getting a little bit off track, I believe, in the morning. I signed into Facebook to complete kind of something I felt like God wanted me to do after sitting in silence and prayer this morning. And one of my spiritual leaders, Gene Miller, encouraged me to set up a class on Saturday on dream interpretation, and I feel totally unprepared for that, right? I asking her to run it, and I could kind of be like a co-teacher, and she goes, "No, this is your show." And I was like, "Oh, great." But dream interpretation is more or less the same thing as like prophecy or prophetic ministry, with more complex language. God has always communicated to me in like more complex language and like the visions and stuff that he gives me, so should be interesting. Completely flying by the seat of my pants. Okay, these are my notes for listening to more E.T. Like I got you on a repeat, E.T. That's Eric the hip hop preacher, E.T. the hip hop preacher. So it's like I study millionaires, billionaires, and they're ahead as far as the success game goes, and they make more money not because they're so smart, but because they get up 5 hours earlier than everyone else. When you become successful, you don't ask what's wrong with something, you ask what's right with it. That resonated with me like 100%. 100%. Yeah. And actually today, right now, I'm facing a habit that I had created last year, waiting to the last day to do assignment grading or assignment scoring for online school, and I did it again this week. But my brain actually kind of triggers something, which makes me believe that I can complete the grading in a shorter amount of time than I can, or actually will. And I'm like, I should know by now that I'm very detail oriented, and I don't do grading quickly. I just don't. And as much as I set a timer and everything, I get caught up in the detail. So I have to do better this year. I don't want to carry that habit into the next year. Just more or less the habit of lying to myself after observing my previous behavior. Oh, yeah, I was listening to the Blueprint to Success by Eric Thomas, or E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, and he said, God is so good. Sometimes he allows us to be broken to bring the creativity out of us. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I've written, he's talking about Adele. Adele's, multi-Grammy winning album. And I was thinking, I've written some songs, I have written some poems when I was absolutely at my lowest, and they were some of the better ones. I mean, I don't like to stay there in those places, but I have to admit, my best poetry has been like, I am at a low of a low. But actually trying to remember the lyrics of one of the songs I wrote. Something like, I can only remember the chorus. It's like, wherever it ends, may our lives be closer to God. Or wherever it ends, may this bring us closer to God. Or something like that, but oh my gosh, it's just serious. You can read so many books about success, but most lack the heart to do what they need to do to be successful. So he was talking about heart. And yesterday it was all about persistence, right? I guess they're a little bit different, but kind of like the same thing. Heart is talking about staying awake when you know you should rather than going to sleep. It's talking about doing the last few push-ups or the last few minutes of your workout instead of just quitting. Those are the kind of things that really, really catapult you to champion status rather than just another competitor. He shares a lot about, sports phenomenons. He's talking about Kobe, talking about Michael Jordan, and talking about Mike Tyson when he was at his prime or in his prime. And it got me thinking. The last couple of times I made the decision that I would stay up and work through the night. I ended up going to sleep. I'm like, man, my tank is empty. This caffeine is not working. But I think through the sheer power of my will and just turning on some classical music or whatever to get those neurons going, I can do that. I can stay up. I work really, really slow, slower than I would if I was like 100, but I can do that. So it was more or less not keeping the commitment I made to myself. And actually, I had written a note about that to myself a couple of days ago. It's like, ironically, the easiest promises to break are the ones that we make to ourselves. But they're also the most costly. So that's the irony, where sometimes we'll make a decision to do something better, and then just because nobody's watching, we break those commitments. And those are the most costly. And this last part of Eric Thomas's life philosophy really, really was transformational for me. Every time something good happens to me, I don't get satisfied. I get hungry. And I was thinking about how a lot of times when I accomplish something, I sit there and I'm on cloud 9 for like a week and a half. But I see that, he talked a little bit about this in another one of his videos. He's talking about Emmitt Smith. You're like, oh, Emmitt Smith, he's long retired, right? But he's a football player. He's pretty awesome. I don't remember what position he played. Running back, maybe. And he's like, oh, I won a championship. He's doing his bench press. I won an NFL championship. Wait. Super Bowl, that's what it was. I won the Super Bowl. Now I can rest. And then he's like, he rests for like 2 seconds and he's bench pressing. And then he's like, so, yeah, that's the concept right there. Champions are like, it's not about even getting those goals, those accolades, because that feeling of being successful, that feeling of just having accomplished one of your goals and feeling elated, it's like, yes, but staying hungry. Les Brown. You gotta be hungry. Staying hungry is a hallmark of true. I don't want to. High achievers, I would say. High achievers is like, I hit it. I hit my vision. I hit my goal. Time to make a bigger one. So, I still haven't mastered the 24 hours. I feel like I'm getting closer though. And a day end review of what you did well, what you didn't well is an important part of that. So, yeah, that's day 58. Amazing. Just like marking off the days, like 2 at a time. It's amazing. That's day 58 of the 15K Formula 90-Day Challenge for me. Check out my personal development app. Basically, this app is just launching. It is an affiliate earning opportunity where people actually have the opportunity to earn income without going out and promoting, as long as you sign up with marketers like me that will put people in your business. Their compensation is designed in such a way that people above you can put people in your business, and you just have to watch the video. So click that link, watch the video, and find out more about what I'm talking about, because if I explain it verbally, you will not get it. When you watch that video, it's like, oh, whoa. Yeah, it's total no-brainer. Alright, see you in the next video. Have an opulent day.